and welcome back to this free-for-all Friday edition of Focal Point. AFR Talk, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840, number to call. A poll from Public Policy Polling indicating that John McCain is now the least popular senator in America. In his own state of Arizona, only 30% of Arizona voters like the job he's doing, 54% disapprove, and that includes a 35-55 upside-down margin with Republicans. In Arizona, only 35% of Republicans approve of the job he's done, 55% disapprove. His term is up in 2016. He's going to be 80 if he runs again. And, you know, everybody made a big deal out of Darrell Issa turning off Elijah Cummings' microphone. And apparently he apologized in some way or another for that. I got absolutely no problem with what he did because he had adjourned that meeting. He's the chairman. Elections have consequences. Remember, we heard about that constantly. Elections have consequences. President Obama said, I won. Well, elections have consequences. Darrell Issa won. He's the chairman of that committee. When he adjourns, when he bangs the gavel, from a parliamentary standpoint, the committee hearing is over. It's adjourned. The mics go off. There's no longer any official business to be transacted. So everybody just gave him a hard time for cutting off Elijah Cummings' microphone. The microphone never should have been on. The meeting was over. If Elijah Cummings has got something to say, he's got a fawning media that'll report every single word that he says. Well, it turns out that Nancy Pelosi did the same thing to the Republicans back in 2008. Looking at a story from Politico, August 1, 2008, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats adjourned the House. This wasn't just a committee meeting. This is the entire House of Representatives, turned off the lights and killed the microphones. This was back in 2008 when they were debating offshore drilling and the American economy. Well, she was the Speaker of the House. If she gavels the House to a close, then she can turn off the lights and she can turn off the microphones, and all the Democrats at the time defended her for doing it, and the Republicans had fun with it. They went out and got a bullhorn. They started talking. They had a sense of humor. One guy by the name of Shadegg, I don't remember his first name, John Shadegg from Arizona, he started punching in random codes into the public address system in the House of Representatives and accidentally typed in the correct code, brought the microphones back up, so they started talking from the mics again until the Democrats came in and turned out the lights again, cut off the mics. You know what the Republicans did when that happened? They cheered. Republicans, again, conservatives have a sense of humor. Liberals don't. There is proof in the pudding. 888-589-8840. Let's wedge in a couple of CPAC sound bites before we go back to the phones. This is clip number 3, rather. Bobby Jindal. This is a third excerpt from his speech this morning at CPAC. Let's listen.
Make no mistake about it, though. Their assault on religious liberty is also an assault on the freedom of speech, the freedom of association, and other rights that were so important to the founding of this country. This country didn't create religious liberty and freedom. Religious liberty and freedom created this great country.
So a great speech from Bobby Jindal was talking there about the abortifacient mandate in Obamacare that forces the Little Sisters of the Poor, Hobby Lobby, Notre Dame, faith-based institutions to violate their conscience and their deeply held religious convictions. And he said, look, we didn't create religious liberty. It was religious liberty that created the United States because people came here hungering for, seeking, and longing for a place where they could exercise their religion freely. Now let's drop down to the Rick Perry clips, and then we'll go to the phones. Rick Perry lit up CPAC today, probably the best received speech of the entire weekend. Rick Perry, and again, there's no question in my mind, he is running for governor or for president in 2016. Got 3 sound bites. Here's clip number 7. Rick Perry, first of the 3 sound bites.
The contrast with blue states is crystal clear. Let's pick any 2. Heck, let's pick the 2 biggest, New York and California. From the East Coast to the West Coast, no 2 states have lost more personal income to other states than New York and California. If you rent a U-Haul to move your company, it costs twice as much to go from San Francisco to Austin than the other way around because you can't find enough trucks to flee the Golden State.
So that's Rick Perry contrasting the blue state philosophy in his speech, which is a philosophy where government plays an increasing role in the lives of citizens, taxes increase, and jobs are lost. That's the blue state vision. You contrast that, he says, with the red state vision, where the freedom of the individual is important, where taxes are low, opportunities are flourishing, and jobs abound. And he said, look, it's time for a little rebellion on the battlefield of ideas. Time for a rebellion. And he quoted Thomas Jefferson, who said a little rebellion is a good thing. And Rick Perry says, look, we need a little rebellion in the battlefield of ideas. Here is clip number 8, the second of the three Rick Perry clips.
Let's pick a large red state. Shoot, let's pick Texas. We cut taxes. We didn't spend all the money. We created fair and predictable regulations, and we stopped personal injury trial lawyers from filing frivolous lawsuits. We have created almost 30% of the nation's jobs while keeping taxes among the nation's lowest. We have presided over not only an energy boom, but the nation's largest population boom and an economic boom of monumental proportion. We have demonstrated that no state can tax and spend its way to prosperity, but with the right policies, you can grow your way there. The red state, blue state debate, this debate really matters because it's about the future of America. And the vision that wins out, either this big government protectionist nanny state version offered by liberal leaders, or the limited government, unsubsidized freedom state offered by conservative leaders, will determine the future of our nation.
So that's Rick Perry talking about their success in Texas. They cut taxes, they diminished regulations, they eliminated frivolous lawsuits, and they've got 30% of all the jobs in America that have been created over the last decade have been created in Texas. You got an energy boom, a population boom, an economic boom. It says, you cannot tax and spend your way to prosperity. Look at California, look at New York. People are leaving those places in droves. You can't even find a U-Haul to rent to flee the state. But you look at Texas, and you find out that you can grow your way to prosperity. Last of the Rick Perry clips, then we'll go back to the phones, 888-589-8840. This is just a soundbite, Jeff, audio bite A6. Rick Perry, this is how he finished his speech at CPAC, and listen to the reaction.
Defend our country. Provide a cogent foreign policy. And what the heck? Deliver the mail, preferably on time and on Saturdays. Get out of the healthcare business. Get out of the education business. Stop hammering industry. Let the sleeping giant of American enterprise create prosperity again. My fellow conservatives, the future of this nation is upon you. It belongs to you. You have the power to change America. You have the power to speak to our newest hopes. And in addition to our age-old dreams, you are the path to the future, a light on a distant shore. And you represent the renewed hope that America can be great again. God bless you, and God bless this great country.
Woo! Rick Perry bringing down the house at CPAC. And you sense the passion. Get government out of healthcare. Get government out of education. Stop hammering industry. And you could just sense the way that message resonated with the conservatives there at CPAC. So Rick Perry lightened it up at CPAC. Well, let's grab a phone call or two before the end of the hour. Let's start with Hector, Florence, South Carolina. Hector, welcome. What's on your mind?
My best to you, Brian, and you all at AFR there.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yes, 3 points here real fast. Number one, this president here, to compliment what Lewis said, I've said it before, he's got wicked advisors, and he's going along with it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Muslim Brotherhood and people like that are giving him advice. Anything to weaken our country down, to water it down to next to nothing, he's going to do it. You're dealing with a confidence man here, the president, and there's 3 ways to deal with a confidence man. You can continue to listen to his rhetoric and go along with it, or you can force them somehow to make them tell you the truth, or you can just get rid of them. And my second point, as far as big gay, these people, people in relationship, people in general, normally are going to go what's easy for them. If they can't get along with the opposite sex, they're going to do something to in their lifestyle to comfort them. But all in all, it's a demonic overtone. It's demonically driven, and there's only one way to stop these two things, to slow it down a good bit. And that brings me to my third point. Big government, big gay, this president, stuff like that. The church is going to have to come together in unity, the church body as a whole, to address these issues, to come together in prayer, to have this president supernaturally removed, to come together in prayer to break the back and bankrupt big gay, and we're going to have to just stand together and maybe have a national revolt and just not pay the government federal taxes. Just revolt and not pay them. Stick together.
All right, Hector, listen, I appreciate your call. And, picking up on that last theme, I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but what I do believe we need is the states to rise up against the federal government. That's the little rebellion that Rick Perry was talking about. And it would eventually get to the issue of taxation, but have a governor who would say, look, I'm not going to let a federal judge tell us that we have to recognize or legitimize sodomy-based marriage in our state. We've got an amendment in our Constitution. The people have spoken. The people have decided we are not going to let you push us around on domestic policy, and eventually they can say we're not going to let you push us around on taxes. Focal Point, back after the news.